And as Jessica said, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile all say that 5G technology is at the heart of their new corporate strategies. 5G is around 10 times faster than the 4G technology we use now. It's crucial for the widespread adoption of things like virtual reality, self-driving cars, and smart cities. Studies have concluded that the country that rolls out 5G first will get a massive economic boost that would otherwise go elsewhere. Now, right now, China and South Korea are closest to the prize. The U.S. was an early adopter of 4G tech, but Japan and Europe won the race for 2G and 3G. For more on how 5G will affect you and me, we turn to tech expert Shelly Palmer. You know, I said those words, that 5G is going to affect things like self-driving cars, virtual reality, and smart cities. But I need you, Shelly, to explain what I really meant by that.
Well, what you really meant is that 5G, the next generation network, is going to be tens to hundreds of times faster than the way an average person accesses the internet or accesses information online right now. And that access will come at extremely low latency. And what that means is the time it takes for your information to go up and down is going to be near real time. Why is that important? If you've got a self-driving car and it asks the network a question and the network takes too long to answer, nothing good is going to happen. So the speed of that communication is important, and 5G offers that speed, but the delay in receiving that information also is going to be quicker than anything we've ever seen, on the order of 1 or 2 milliseconds, as opposed to the seconds it can take now.
And when you consider how everything is plugged in online, it's really sort of mind-blowing what the impacts could be. But this is like massive infrastructure, right? So I want to ask you this question. China, which is way ahead, apparently, of the U.S., according to one study in the 5G race, is that because the government has actively taken a role in building 5G infrastructure? And does the U.S. government need to start considering that?
So I think it is very, very difficult to compare infrastructure in China and the way it gets built, approved, and funded with infrastructure in the United States, the way it gets built and funded. 5G, because of the nature of the way it works from a physics standpoint, requires a lot of close together cells. So you need cell towers that are close to one another because of the nature of the physics, which we can go into at shellypalmer.com. There's a 5G article right now. If you really are deep into it, you can go there. But just understand that you need a lot of towers in a small area because of the nature of 5G. So China doesn't have the pesky rule of law, and they can just put towers anywhere. On the island of Manhattan, we do have the pesky rule of law, and you can't just put towers everywhere. And so rolling it out from just an infrastructure standpoint is going to be different from country to country. Now, throughout history, the speed of communication has been directly equated to economic success. You know, the stock exchange had a problem yesterday in Toronto, and they lost an appliance. Well, we've got people who are co-locating servers at the stock exchange because they want nanosecond style trades to happen. So you know that the speed of information and economic success are very, very well equated there. Now imagine what happens if you take an entire society and you speed up their communication to that level, tens to hundreds of times faster. That's going to give any country that gets that kind of boost an incredible advantage economically. For cottage industries, for the doing of all kinds of networked communications, drones, self-driving cars, content distribution. Imagine just plugging in a TV set. Instead of needing a cable box or anything, it worked like your phone. You just got video. A completely different world in 5G.
So the president has even said this is a national security issue. Who has the 5G edge? And so you have Sprint, T-Mobile merging with this sort of selling the merger by saying this is an America first sort of 5G advantage we're getting. Does that make sense to you? And do you think that's a sellable idea to the antitrust regulators?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I agree with that statement in every way. I think that it is a national issue. I think that America deserves the best broadband access for every man, woman, and child, for every company that's formed now or going to form, for every startup, for everyone who aspires to do business in a digital world. We need the best connectivity possible, and anywhere that we can get, any way that we can get there, and the way we get there first is going to be best for America. No questions asked.
Shelly Palmer, this is fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for your expertise.